In January of this year, we released the first release of Actian's platform. It's the first time that an organization has delivered an end-to-end capability to connect to data and then on a massive scale be able to digest that data, prepare the data and analyze that data, both on massive scale but also at extreme high performance for low latency questions. All of this operates natively at high performance on Hadoop, and as I said, the first release of that was in January and provides a full graphical tool to enable a far wider audience to be able to use these tools to be able to extract the value of big data. So the South Korean market's actually fascinating. Today, we looked at studies that show that there's already $1 billion being spent on big data projects. What's more fascinating is if you actually look at the queries that are being run through Google. We ran some Google analytics around the types of queries that are coming out of South Korea around big data, Hadoop and analytics. And it actually shows that together with India, Korea and India are actually the number one and number two globally. For me, that's very important because that shows that the people here in Korea are starting to understand the value of big data, and therefore there is a huge opportunity, particularly given the technology innovation of this country, for there to be a much bigger market. For us, choosing a partner, eGlobal, to be able to bring our analytics platform to the market is incredibly important. eGlobal has a core strength in data management capabilities, a lot of established relationships, and the ability to implement these solutions at customers. So that's a very important combination for us. Those organizations that treat big data as a strategic tool, it's been shown time and time again in international studies that they outperform their competition. In the case of governments, the ability to be able to understand the vast amounts of data that they deal with and be able to use that to the good of citizens is another reason that they should be looking at big data. What's big data and why is it important for either organizations or governments? The ability to be able to be far more accurate in predicting what the data means, what's going to happen next, really comes from being able to look at all the data. We have a phrase of segment of one, being able to understand for an individual, for all the products or services that they are using, what they are most likely to use next is incredibly important, whether it's government or organizations. Being able to harness that big data can help them to better serve their customers or their citizens. If you look at the internet today and how messages and data events travel around, deep within all that information, all that noise, there are the signals of those use cases where people are accessing websites in a perfectly normal manner, and then there are the signals that are hidden which show that there is a questionable approach as to what they're doing. If you think about the sheer volume of data that you need to be able to monitor and the speed with which you need to be able to recognize that unwanted approach to your website or your firewall, and then the ability to be able to analyze that, recognize that unwanted signal and take action to close that down. Big data is essentially the only way that you're going to be able to properly be able to manage security risks in this world going forwards.